Hey, what's going on, everybody? Mike Sparacino here, alongside, as always, Brendan Morroy and Brandon Woj. And we got, wow, the hostilities. Well, the hostility has begun. I'm already getting flipped off by Woj. Welcome
Yeah.
to Pucks and Brews episode 4. As we always say, grab a brew, crack one open, enjoy it, listen to some hockey talk. Woj, Brendan, what brew do you have? What unsponsored brew of choice do you have for this episode?
I've done
Well,
this like
Shades,
three episodes in a row, so I'm not doing
I
it.
actually don't have anything, so it's pretty irrelevant to this episode, I guess.
Uh, all right, that's it. Episode's over.
Nah, I've done it three in a row.
Yeah,
There's got to be some give here. You don't even have coffee. You just woke up.
dude, I'm not drinking coffee now. You kidding me? It's like friggin', what time is it? It's 8 o'clock.
I drank coffee the other day at 9. It was completely okay. I fell asleep at 11.
Yeah, see, I'm not taking that chance. I'm just literally gonna wing it right after I'm done recording here. Literally gonna eat, go back to sleep. But
Wake up at 3 a.m.
hey,
Yeah.
knowing my sleep schedule, I mean, probably.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we got all right, anybody listening or watching on YouTube, please get in on the action. Crack open a brew like I just said. Sit back, enjoy it, listen to some hockey talk because these two are always a fucking letdown. No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa,
Wow.
whoa, let down.
Wow.
Get the fuck out of here. No, I'm
That's
not.
what you get for flipping me off earlier. All right?
Wow.
Yeah,
Shades
fair enough.
roast us. Wow.
You got it.
I know
That
that's
is
straight
what you get
vodka
for
in that
flipping
water
me
bottle.
off.
That's vodka in that water
This
bottle.
kid's hammered.
It's not even
gin.
water, dude.
He didn't take a nap. He passed out earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
Drinking all day.
He crushed the whole bottle earlier. That's why there's only a sip left. He
It might
passed
be-
out. We had
It
to.
might be gin. Just putting that out there.
It's sick.
But
But
anyway, how you two doing after that incredible intro right there?
It's good.
Shades, we're ready to talk about the Rangers, man. I think we're all semi frustrated, semi kind of not frustrated in a way. Frustrated after last night's game, I would say. But yeah,
I
1 and 2 in
unfortunately
the
was
last
not able
3.
to. I unfortunately was not able to watch.
Actually, technically not. We're 1-1-1 in the last 3.
That's a lot of ones.
It's better than 0 and 3. Maybe. I don't know.
That's true.
That is true.
But
So
Shades, let's get started. We got the Capitals game.
Before we get to the
First.
Capitals game, the question needs to be asked. Do you think the NHL is doing enough to prevent a COVID outbreak? I'm going to start off by saying no, because look at how many teams have had an outbreak already. Look at how many games have had to be postponed. I mean, I
Yeah,
thought
35 games, Shades, so far,
35.
according to
think
the
it's more.
article I read.
Oh, I think it's more by now.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's
Possible.
35 through the first 4 weeks of the season.
Oh,
So that's not
okay.
including. So there's
I think
been
it's over
more,
40.
most likely.
Yeah.
Jeez. I mean, the Rangers have already had one game postponed this past week and a half because,
Yeah.
I mean, the
Yeah,
game
I
against the Devils this past Saturday was postponed. The game
Yeah. And
this coming Sunday or
Sunday.
Saturday?
hmm
Sunday.
Yeah,
Sunday
Sunday
is
against
the
Philly.
Flyers. Yeah. So, God, this is going to be interesting with how they make it up. But I think some of the rules they have in place currently, like with the glass being taken down behind the benches and all that, I really don't think that does anything.
Yeah. Not at all.
It's supposed to be for apparently airflow, Shades. I'm in the same boat with you, to be honest, and that's like ridiculous. I don't think it's going to do much. But I think the biggest thing, and this is to me that I guess my guess is the fact that they couldn't actually get the tests, maybe, but they added like the wrapping testing now on game day, whereas like they'll actually get the results back before the game starts. Because we saw the other night with the Golden Knights where Nosek actually got pulled during the middle of the game. Apparently his test came back, he tested positive. And it kind of reminded me of what happened with like the MLB in the World Series. Who was it again? I can't remember who it was on the Dodgers, but that ended up tested positive, like, and they knew that he was positive like during the game. It's like, to me, it's like it kind of defeats the entire purpose of doing the tests if you're not going to know the results on the game day.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so that to me will probably make the biggest difference now. Because now if they can test all these guys before the game and a guy comes positive, he tests positive for the coronavirus, but everybody else on the team tests negative, they'll most likely play that game, I'm guessing.
I mean, didn't it just happen with the Nets and Kevin Durant, how he got like a positive test mid-game after the results came in and they still let him play and everything?
I don't know much about that, to be honest, because I haven't really paid much attention to the NBA besides the Knicks, but
that's like the only thing I've heard.
Go Knicks, baby. Knicks tape.
That's right.
The only thing I remember was the NFL. I think it happened. Someone on Baltimore got pulled out because they had. It was Des Bryant. He got pulled out because he had a positive test, and then they just didn't play in the rest of the game. Turns out it came back actually negative. So I don't know. I mean, they could be doing a lot more. I'm surprised they're not testing at least the day before, if not the morning of. But I mean, they could be doing a lot more. But it's a good thing they're starting to do it now because they've lost a lot of games.
Yeah, I mean, we can only hope that this whole situation gets solved as soon as possible. And just to have a few final thoughts on the statement, even Elliot Friedman reported, what did he say exactly? He said the NHL sent out enhanced COVID measures today, including asking players to remain at home as much as possible, except for practices, games, which they should have been doing that already. They recommended household members limit discretionary activities outside the home. Again, like this should be common sense to begin with. The use of KN95 masks, rapid testing on game days, like Brendan said earlier, mandating all meetings to be held virtually. Again, like I think this is all stuff that should have been implemented in the first place. And glass removed from the penalty box, which we just said that, like removing glass isn't going to do a damn thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, in terms of the meeting stage, just to go back, I mean, I don't really see how that's an issue. Like in-person meetings, like they play the games near each other. I don't think that really makes much, in my opinion, anyway.
Well, I mean,
but
that all comes down to the contract tracing or contact tracing.
But having to travel and stuff. But that's obviously the biggest thing is the traveling, even though it's from state to state. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, even to keep in mind, like a lot of what's happening is a lot of the players aren't even testing positive. It's just because of the contact tracing that they're put in like the protocol. So a lot of teams got hit with that, and that's the reason a lot of the games are being postponed.
Yeah, didn't that happen to the Sabres?
I know Kakko was on the list, but he didn't.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I know a lot of guys on the Devils had it too. They got their a lot of teams have aren't going to come back now for a little while. Which is crazy. So,
all right, well,
hopefully all these other measures they put in will help. But I guess there's always the possibility for it if they're still traveling. So I'm sure we're probably going to deal with this as things go on. So,
I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but they also said there's someone in Winnipeg. They said they want to limit the amount of time they're allowed to be at the rink prior, even though they're with the same guys they are with every day. Which, it makes sense. It's kind of like the same thing here in New York where it's like we're closing down restaurants at 10 o'clock. So you limit the amount of people that come in after a certain time. But if they're around the same people all the time, like it doesn't matter if they get there before the game 4 hours early or 2 hours early. But they have
I think a lot of the players were pissed.
Yeah, they have a schedule. They have their routine, their rituals and shit like that they want to go through for a game day to make sure they perform well. And they're trying to limit that and tell them what they can and can't do.
Yeah, no, I like that part. I thought was extremely stupid because what you just said, like the guys' rituals before the game and everything. And I'm like if a guy has it, like he's obviously, if he knows he has it, he's obviously not going to show up. If he tests negative, like why are you going to stop him from going in the building when he's got to go in eventually anyway? I just don't get that. But
hopefully this testing will solve all those issues.
Yeah, hopefully. But let's move on to a brighter note here. Let's talk about
there's a vaccine, games. So we'll be fine soon. Fucking knock on wood.
Hey, listen.
I'm not
also, though, to add to the COVID, the most positive thing that we could actually take away from what we were just talking about is the fact that, surprisingly, in New York, they're going to allow 10% capacity back at the Garden starting at the end of February. So that's a couple thousand fans, I think. Was it like 2,000 or something like that?
Yeah, roughly.
Not many, but
and a couple $1,000 for the fucking tickets.
yeah, I can
Probably.
imagine. I think, and I'm pretty sure. I think they were actually mentioning in the paper. My dad was talking to me about it, and he was saying that, yeah, I think you have to get tested like up to 3 days before the game.
Shot.
You have to
Also,
like
3
have
days.
proof of the test. You have to have like proof of the positive tests, and then also, like Woj said, you have to spend at least $250,000 on a ticket, most likely,
Fucking
because
joke.
you normally do anyway. But I'm sure this will even make it more insane.
Got to make up for revenue lost, you know?
If I had to pay like 90 to 100 bucks for a ticket in like the 200s when there was 50,000 people, imagine how much you had to pay for a ticket when there's 1,800. Be fucking nuts.
What games are you going to?
I don't know. I watched them play the Blues like 2 years ago.
That,
It was like
that
100
game
bucks for the tickets.
That game is pretty expensive always. You're right.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, let's move on to some happier news. I'm sick of all this COVID crap, but the Rangers have played 3 games since we last recorded, gentlemen. Should have been 4, but, you know, stupid Devils. But we're coming off a win against the Capitals, a loss against the Islanders, and a loss against the Bruins. Let's talk about the happy game, because we won the game against the Capitals, and a lot was going on with this game. What did you guys think?
Mike, I was happy that we got the win, obviously. And there was a lot of positives to take away from this game. We can get started on some of those. I thought it was one of Shesty's better games of the season too, but I just thought defensively we looked really good too. So I was happy about that. I wrote down the biggest thing for me was at the start of the game too, is right off the jump, we had given up a breakaway to Ovechkin, who you knew he was going to score a goal that game, just didn't know when it was going to be, but it was about a minute into the game, and it's kind of set the tone for the game. Right off the bat, Shesty, complete monster save on the breakaway, and then even a couple minutes later, huge save again on that deflection from the point where he made like a crazy glove save. You could tell early on that he had it, and I thought, to me, it's like, okay, if he doesn't make those 2 saves, that's a 2-0 game right away, and we're most likely not coming back from that. So that to me was the biggest thing right off the bat.
Yep. And
I didn't think we were gonna win that game. Really didn't.
I mean, Washington really hasn't been that good.
Yeah, they lost a lot of guys that game too.
Yeah, they didn't have a lot of guys that, man. At one point, they actually had Oshie playing center. He wasn't even playing wing. It was kind of strange. And they were double shifting Ovechkin early in that game too. So
yeah,
they've been struggling a little bit. I'm not gonna lie though, as soon as I saw the starting lineups and I saw that Vanacek rookie goalie was in net against the Rangers, I was like, oh boy, this is gonna be a tough night.
Yeah,
they're gonna make him look like an
all-star.
Yeah,
I think he was like, yeah, that was crazy. But it was interesting though in the fact that we saw a new defensive pair in action, and that was Hayek and Boteto. And what were your first thoughts on Hayek and Boteto in the first game?
They look decent. I'll give them credit. They look decent. Hayek actually looked all right. He was more like not noticeable than anything, which is a positive. Yeah. I'd rather you not be noticeable doing nothing wrong than be noticeably bad. I'll take that any day of the year. But no, he looked all right. And Boteto, he scored that pretty good goal. We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But no, they were all right. And Miller and Fox just continue to amaze me, which is fantastic.
Yeah, and that continued throughout the next 2 games, even though we lost. But yeah, Shades, like you said, I mean, we might as well just get right to the Boteto goal. But wow, that was insane. That was his 3rd career goal, right? And that was the first time he had scored in how many years? It was a couple of years,
3.
right?
I think 3 or 4. 2017.
First goal since November 18th, 2017. And if I took my notes correctly, there was a span of 113 games that he played.
Yeah. And that play was nice too. He just came in, he was buzzing around, he buzzed around. I was like, oh, he's gonna send it deep. Nope, he just holds onto it, cuts around the middle, and then backhands it, and just complete like
He
botched shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so bad, but
That's
whatever, you'll take it.
That's a city ice goal right there. That's exactly what that is.
Are you sure
Yeah,
that's
or
not
NHL.
NHL 14 glitch backhand from the slot?
It's the same thing.
That's what I was gonna say.
Same
Glitch
game.
backhand.
The last great NHL game, by the way.
Whoa.
I want to mention Ryan Strome almost as a hat trick, but misses a wide open net from the red line.
Yeah.
The blue line. Yeah, not
Yeah,
great.
that was classic. Yeah, I mean, and of course, Shades, right after the Vitello goal, who ends up scoring right at the end of the second period, Carl Hagelin, ex-Ranger. I had to have that written in the notes.
That was such a
It was a bizarre goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was so lucky.
That was the only way you were beating Shesterkin that night.
And the funny thing was, too, Shades, is that the last time he scored was actually March 5th of 2020 at the Garden.
Oh, of course.
So how funny is that? I had to write that down when I saw it.
Just leave it to the ex-Rangers to score on the Rangers every time.
Oh, yeah.
But I thought we were actually like kind of. It was one of those games where going into the third period, you also felt like the Rangers were going to blow it just because, like, I don't know, like they got crazy. Like Howden takes a slashing penalty right at the end of the period, going into the third, and then. Yeah, obviously Washington's power play was like disgusting. I think it was like over 50%. Like, I think it was 50%. Like in the last like 5 games they had played going into that game against the Rangers. But I mean, the Rangers penalty kill that is one of the positives that we could take away from these 3 games that we just played.
Yeah, I think
that was good.
I think after the Caps game, they were 10 out of their last 10 over that game and the game before. And what?
Yeah, 11th in the league in penalty kill now.
We're what?
We're actually 11th in the league in penalty kill.
Jeez, we're that low? I thought we would have been way higher.
Well, that's
I saw some stat. We were like 94% of over the last couple games or something. I was like, wow.
Yeah, but I think we struggled earlier in the year probably, so that's probably why we're making up. But I have to credit, though, I did write this down, too, that this is another one of those games that Trouba was really good. He was good all night. And I wish I could say the same about last night, but he was really good against the Caps. That was probably another one of his best performances. He seems to be, like, very inconsistent this season, where like when he plays a really good game, he's disgusting, but then he has really just bad games where he's on the ice for like every goal.
Well, another positive, Zibanejad actually started looking pretty goddamn good in this game. He was getting chances. He got a bunch of chances in the Islanders game too. Still hasn't scored, but I mean, what do you guys think it was with him? Do you think it was more him having COVID, or do you think it was more when he took like a fall a couple games back and he went into the boards pretty hard and had to go to the locker room? Because I know he was hurting for a few games after that. What do you guys think?
I think it's a bit more than that. I think it's the whole entire like off season, like not being able to do much. I don't know how it was in Sweden with him in training and shit like that, but I mean, you give a guy, not a good off season to prepare, and then you throw him in with just a week of training camp with the team and no preseason games. It's kind of tough to get going.
Yeah. I mean, let's just also give props to Artemi Panarin and Ryan Strome on Strome's second goal. Oh, man. First off, that
filthy.
He tapped RB over to Panarin, and then Panarin gave it right back to him.
Yeah. And that made Panarin's 5th multi-point game of the season, too. So he's having a pretty good year.
I took this stat also. Panarin has points in 38 of the Rangers' 41 wins since he joined the team. Like, that's nuts.
Yeah, it goes to show you how important he is to the team. When he's not playing good, we're really not playing good.
And then your clone, Buchnevich, Brendan, he scored the empty netter.
Mike, and like I was saying just before, though, like, it had to get close. Ovechkin scores off the face-off. I had to bring this up, too, because it is a milestone goal. 709th goal. Sole possession is 7th all time now.
It's pretty good.
But like we were saying earlier, I mean,
just a little.
He was just like this classic Ovechkin, man. He's just ripping shots all night. Probably ripping shots after the game too with the boys. I mean, dude, he think he had like at that point in the game he had like 7 shots on goal. So he was going bananas, dude. He was just taking as many shots as possible. It's like you said, like you knew he was going to score, you just didn't know when it was going to be, and it ended up being intense. The most hilarious thing though in this game, and you talked about Booch wrapping it up 4-2, and I wrote this down because it was hilarious. And that was the Kakko embellishment call that they called on Kakko for literally getting tripped.
Brutal.
I was just about to bring that up.
That was so bad. It was so bad. Sam Rosen couldn't even hold it together, dude. He was like, "Oh, that's terrible." He literally said that.
Out.
He just flipped out. He was just like, "Oh, that's all." He's like, "That was terrible call." He lost it.
Did he get the player's name wrong too, or the ref?
No, he actually got it right. No, he got Kakko's name right. Yeah, that was he got it right.
Yeah, no, that call was just
a bullshit
awful.
Call.
Brutal.
Awful.
Yeah, it was.
What is he supposed to do?
That was brutal. That was definitely a brutal call. That was a brutal call. And Shades, we might as well just get right into the Islanders game. And I mean, I got to shit on the Islanders because every one of their games is just so boring, dude. Like, it is boring hockey. Like, and the Islanders have not been what I thought they were going to be like this year either. They've been kind of not good.
No, not at all.
And wow, that first period against the Rangers was probably one of the most boring periods of hockey I ever watched in my entire life. As was the whole game, really, to be honest with you. But
you didn't watch Montreal in the playoffs last year, did you?
Well, that's a whole other thing. But the Islanders, this game was brutal. One thing to take note of, though, Chesty did have 3 wins in a row going into the game.
Yeah, so they were 3-0-1 in the previous 4 entering that game, if I took my notes correctly.
Yeah, they were.
Even though the first period was boring, there was like some noticeable stuff I wrote down anyway. I took note. I thought that Howden, DiGiuseppe, and Laugh were really good. I thought that kind of like sparked Laugh a little bit, even though we're still not getting like the numbers offensively. It just seemed like that line early was moving the puck around really good. And another thing I took note of too, and this line will be more prevalent when we talk about the Boston game, but Rooney, Gauthier, and Lemieux, I'm really liking that as the 4th line. I mean, things are going to change up obviously when when Hedel gets back and Blackwell, but wow, I like that line. But yeah, that period was so boring.
Yeah, you want to know my only note that I took of this entire game? Game against the Islanders, first period, early power play wasted.
Yeah, well, I wrote that down too.
In our last 3 games, we've had 8 power plays. We've scored on 0 of them.
It's amazing.
Yeah, we're not good.
When our power play is clicking, the penalty kill is not. When our penalty kill is clicking, our power play is non-existent. Yeah. It's honestly incredible when you think about it.
Oh yeah. But that Islanders game, we played really well. It's just like timely goals. Varlamov like standing on his head, just didn't go our way.
You know, Varlamov did make a couple great saves, and I mean, dude, 2 lapses, 2 mental lapses.
I won't bring up his his background of legal authorities. You know what he did.
All right, you had to go there, didn't you?
What? Come on, I gotta shit on him somehow.
All right, well, I mean, yeah, we do kind of have to shit.
You gotta shut up,
just a little bit. But
oh yeah, no. Are you talking about Varlamov? I like zoned out for a second.
Yeah, he got like arrested like a few years back in Colorado.
Oh, dude. I had while we're on the story, while we're on Varlamov, I gotta bring this up, dude. Dude, when I worked at the NHL shop, this dude would he would like ask for more of a discount on top of his discount already.
Fucking NHL.
That's all I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna say anything more than that.
There's one more thing. I don't know how true this is, but I got a text from somebody saying that Casey Zizekas, when he was younger, I think he was like 2007. He's playing rugby. I don't know where he's from, but he said he was playing rugby, and he tackled some kid that had a concussion already and killed him. So, I mean,
I don't know anything
Islanders,
about that.
You got to wonder about their culture and their locker room.
That's sick. I don't know anything about that. So
yeah, I completely forgot about it. I heard it a while ago.
Shades doesn't even know what to say.
I did not expect this to go anywhere near that.
I'm just saying you might want to question their character in their locker room.
Shit. All right, Shades. I'll swing it away from this. I'll swing it away from Varlamov.
Please and thank you.
I'll swing it away from Varlamov,
Jesus.
and I'll talk about Shesty, and I'll talk about a breakaway save he made in the second period. And wow, you're talking about how bad the power play's been. This is a classic. Jacob Trouba gassed.
Oh yeah,
so bad on the power play. He gets dusted. And Shesty makes a huge breakaway save in the second period to keep it a tie game. Yeah, that to me was insane. That whole play, just whatever. But I took more notes on Laugh because he was throwing a lot of body that game, which I like to see. He had 4 hits in the game in the second period. Another thing I wrote down was Miller. Shades, you were talking about him and Fox. Obviously, we know how good they've been. He's second amongst rookies right now in ice time. So that goes to show you how good of a player he's been. And he had a really great defensive play on a pass cross that was basically a wide open net. Yeah, I mean,
actually,
going into the third period.
Now that you said that, I actually just want to say, I thought that was one of Miller's worst games. And he honestly didn't look that bad.
His first one was really bad.
All right, well, outside of that, no. But no, because I just remember him getting knocked off the puck a few times. He made 2 or 3 bad decisions, but I was just they weren't awful decisions, but they were not good. They were noticeably not good, but I'm giving the kid slack. With how good he's been, he's getting some slack from me.
One thing I do remember seeing that game, he stopped, Barzal was going the left side, along the boards, and he just reached across, stopped him, and then just took the puck away from him and broke out from there.
And Woj, just to compliment what you were saying before about the Islanders game, this is one of those games that's 0-0 going to the third period. It really could have went either way.
Yeah.
And Varlamov just made – and it's not that Shesty didn't make the key saves. It's just it really almost came down to one play. And that was really it. I mean, we had so many chances. Panarin had a breakaway in the third, robbed. Then same thing, Zibanejad, robbed. So it's – that's just – been the stories of Zibanejad the last couple of games. But yeah, we know the play that ends up leading to the goal is, we were talking about Lieber Hayek. The last game was looking pretty good. And to be honest with you, he really wasn't even that bad in that game until that one play where he makes the blind pass. Yeah. And it goes right to the Islanders. They turn over and they pass and they score.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Hayek looking like me in open hockey right there.
That was brutal.
That's bad.
And then literally not more than a minute later, Matt Martin tap in front for his first of the year. So that really put the game on ice. To be honest with you, the third period was very similar to the whole game. It was just so boring. I actually knocked out in the last 5 minutes of the game.
Well, you usually knock out near the end of a game anyway, so don't blame that on the Islanders being boring.
I've been staying up. No, I've actually stayed up relatively late. All right, kid. The last week or so. So I don't even want to hear the shit talking.
Wow.
It's coming at your sleep schedule, bro.
Wow. I actually start going to bed early and Brendan starts staying up late. What the hell is going on?
The difference is, Shades, I actually get up at 7:30 every morning sharp.
Yeah, that's true. I get up anywhere from 8 to 3 in the afternoon.
From now on in the show, we don't refer to Matt Martin as Matt Martin. It's Mattisized.
Mattisized?
Yeah. His father-in-law's Boomer.
Okay.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is he really?
Yeah,
he is actually.
This guy Woj is the freaking master of random Islanders facts. What the hell?
Yeah, going from murderers
This guy
to families.
This guy Woj is gonna give you a freaking history lesson in the Islanders, dude. What the hell, man? It's insane.
I think it's more.
All right. Well, after that,
I don't even know the word I can use to describe myself. Flabbergasted, maybe. I don't know if I can go that far.
Concerned,
Oh,
I'd say concerned. I'd be more concerned.
Yeah, concerned is a very good word.
Yeah.
Thank you, Woj. This is why you're part of the team.
Oh, that's why. I'll find some more facts next episode.
So, Shades, it was the 700th meeting all time between the Rangers and the Bruins. I had to write that down. I thought that was sick.
That is pretty cool, actually.
They didn't have the record, unfortunately, so I don't know what it was, but what do you guys think? You think Boston has a better record against the Rangers?
Yeah, by far.
I think so.
Probably.
I think so too.
Well, I mean, they had Phil Esposito. He probably, I know he was on both teams, but I mean, he probably killed us when he was on the Bruins. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't around like the 40s or the 50s, but we probably sucked, or 60s. So
probably.
I'm not gonna go back and look at the stats. We'll just go.
Yeah, we had to pull it up.
No, you'll fill our heads with useless Islanders trivia.
Well, that thing might not. I don't know.
Woj is just spreading rumors about the Islanders. It's not even true. I have no idea.
No, the Varlamov one's 100% true. I don't know.
Well, the Varlamov one is true. Yes, that we know about. That was reported on. This is Zekas one that we're questioning whether or not that's actually true.
Dude, we might be like fucked now. Like the KGB might like find this podcast and hear us talking about Varlamov.
Yeah, they might take us out.
Knock knock. KGB. We will ask the questions.
Yeah, we're screwed. What is that from? Family Guy?
That's from The Office.
Oh, see, yeah, horrible show.
Oh, fuck you.
Oh, wow. That's an unpopular opinion, Woj. You're going to get roasted for that.
Yeah, I know, because it's not a good show. I've said it multiple times.
Dude, I fucking love that show.
I disagree, and I haven't even seen it all.
All right, let's get back to hockey. This is a hockey podcast after all. So I didn't watch the game because I was, I have my bowling league. Yes, I bowl in a league, 2 of them. Bowled a 700 last night.
Nice.
Strikes. But
all right,
I only saw highlights, and the ones that stick out to me are, I said it earlier in the episode, I'll say it again. Adam Fox is a beast. Did you see the play that he made in overtime?
Shades, there's a lot of plays he made prior to overtime, for sure. Early in this game, the
NHL highlights only show so much. So
early in the game, he had a sick move. Like he was breaking out of the zone, and like Pastrnak stepped up to him, and he like threw the puck back, and just like it was a joke. It was filthy. And biggest thing to take away from that, Shades, is that Pierre Maguire has found the new Sidney Crosby. Dude. Because if we had $1 for every time he said Adam Fox last night, we would be rich.
Dude, he was pitching a tent behind the glass talking about Adam Fox all night. It was
ridiculous. It was amazing. That was nice to see that. Because normally you don't see a lot of Rangers players getting love like that, besides maybe Panarin last year. But Shades, early in this game, we actually kind of dominated Boston, to be honest. The second line was really controlling the puck well, and it seemed like they were the ones that were matched up against, the Pastrnak, Bergeron, and Marchand. So they were dominating early. The Bruins only had 1 shot through the first 14 minutes of the game. So that goes to show you how much possession the Rangers actually had.
Wait, say that again. 1 shot through the first 14 minutes of the game?
1 shot through the first 14 minutes. Yeah.
And okay, Jesus.
I'm pretty sure I got that right. Then they ended up finishing the period with 6, but through the first 14 minutes, I had it as through the first 10 minutes, but it was through the first 10, I think, when I wrote it down. And then after that, it was 14. But Gauthier finally, first goal ever as a Ranger, which is crazy to believe because I feel like he's been around for quite some time now. So his 24th game career-wise. So I'm surprised, considering how well he skates. I'm actually surprised that this is his first goal.
Yeah. I think he only played a few games in Carolina. I don't even think he got a fair shot there. So that's why I think it's a little bit more surprising because we've known about it a little bit once you traded for him, but he mainly played all of his games in the AHL. Because I think he got drafted a few years ago.
Yep.
I think 18. So yeah, good for him.
Shades, you brought this up before, and we were talking about Zibanejad, and it's hard to talk about the game last night without talking about Zibanejad because, well, one, they made it a main storyline on NBC Sports Network about how Zibanejad, what can he do to score, and he's doing the right things, dude. He just has Rangeritis right now. He can't bury it. I saw a meme earlier, and it was like Rick Nash as an angel, and he's like, I give you my powers. That was amazing.
I was dead ass just about to say Rick Nashitis.
Yeah, dude. I mean, this is one of those games where, again, Rask just played so well, and it really ended up being the difference in the game. But Boston this year has had a knack for coming back from games going down early, especially, and NBC kind of just jinxed that, bringing it up. But 3 out of the last 4 games, they went down early and ended up winning. So that goes to show you. But other notes that I thought were important too, Shades, is the face-offs continue to be an issue. We're 30th in the league right now in face-off percentage.
Here's my reaction to that. Here's my reaction to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as much, and we were talking about the power play before too, as much as the power play has been kind of poopy, the penalty kill has been great. 16 in a row that we killed off. So 11th in the league now. Yeah, that's crazy. But the second period was a whole other story in this Boston game.
I also heard.
Woj, I don't know if you saw it, but it was chaos.
I don't think it
This game basically went from being the Islanders game to just being a playoff game, I swear, in a period. It was insane. The amount of shots in the second period was bananas, dude. It ended up being 19-14 Boston in shots in the second period.
Damn.
It was insane. And Georgiev played great last night, dude. I know Shades, that you saw some highlights that you thought were questionable from Georgiev, but I disagree. I thought he played. Yeah. I thought he played amazing last night.
What who's calling you?
Oh, podcast. Yeah, fuck out of here. Come on, Mike.
Definitely keeping that in there.
Wait, was it not muted? Yeah, it was.
Oh, I am so keeping that in.
Oh, definitely keeping that in.
No, I am so keeping.
We recorded a whole hour.
Get the fuck out of here. Okay.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, but
no answer the first 6 times.
The second period was just insane. Talking about the defense though, this is where I want to get into before with Trouba. This is just one of those nights, Shades. I know you want to blame Georgiev for some of these goals, but you just I can't blame him for any of these goals now, thinking back. We're on the power play. Shades. We're on the power play, and we give up a shorthanded breakaway. That's not on Georgiev. I'm sorry. That's not on Georgiev. Panarin makes a stupid play at the point, turns it over, and we give up a breakaway goal on a penalty kill. You can't blame your goalie. It's impossible.
He actually played that one pretty well, but he still got scored on. So
yeah, but you don't blame the goalie when it's a power play and you give up a breakaway. That's that can't happen, dude.
Yeah, they handed it to him.
In my opinion, anyway. I don't think he was the issue last night.
No, the issue was we just couldn't get any goals in.
Exactly. That's the issue, again, is the fact that we couldn't score. I mean, I had so many notes about Zibanejad just getting robbed. There's 6 different notes I wrote down about Zibanejad getting absolutely robbed that game. But I think the biggest difference in this game is really when Panarin ends up getting hurt. And he missed a lot of time during that game. And that also became a difference maker because we were talking about in the first about how dominant that second line was, and without Panarin on it. He ended up playing briefly in the third period, which I didn't really understand. If he was hurt, I don't know why we put him back in the game to risk injury, but it didn't look good, to be honest. It looked like he was wincing in pain, I don't even know what it was. I think he came out, he had lower body injury, whatever that means, but it didn't look good. It looked like he kind of extended something, and he was having a lot of issues putting weight. It looked like, I don't know if it's groin related, but it kind of looked like it could be.
Yeah. They didn't practice today, so he's got a rest day for now. So we'll see how he is. I wouldn't think too much into it. I think he'll be all right. I think he'll play Friday.
Yeah, I just didn't like the fact that I just didn't like the fact that like we were kind of, it seemed like we were like forcing him out there. It just like,
yeah,
if he's already hurt at this point, like it's a close game. Like I know these games are important, but it's not worth risking his season.
Yeah, that's true.
But Shades, the Rangers' luck last night, and of course it's the one game that you don't see, but tonight that was the one night that the Rangers had the refs kind of going for them, I thought.
Wow.
So there's a whole play where DeBrusque takes a shot, and it was off a terrible turnover, and he shoots it, and it hits off the bar and goes down, and instead of being bar down and in, it's like half in, half out. Like you see like 6 different angles of it. One angle it looks good. One angle it looks like it's half over, half not in, and they call it no goal. When I was shocked. I honestly couldn't believe it that we got the call, and then right after that though, that wasn't going to stop Boston from scoring, because Trouba, with one of his probably worst plays this season, he was arguing that there was a tripping call. There was no tripping call whatsoever. He tripped up his own self on the Boston player and didn't get back into position and let him just walk right in front. Another goal I don't blame on Georgiev.
The only reason I blame Georgiev on that is because he somehow got scored on 5-hole.
Yeah, but dude, how do you blame Georgiev on that? The guy on Boston literally walked in front of the net. Nobody on the Rangers defense was there. You can't, dude, this is like, these are NHL guys. They're not going to not score on that. I don't blame Georgiev. Again, I'm sorry, Shades. No. I disagree. I blame Trouba for turning the puck over and nobody being in front of the net on D.
The only goalie I blame in that game was fucking Tuca leaving the game with like a minute left, thinking he was down.
I heard about that.
But that's one time
was bizarre.
I heard
blame
about
a goalie
that.
for doing something wrong. It's just like, dude, you like wake up.
No, that's a bizarre. That was hilarious. But and then another thing that we got, which I thought they got wrong, the refs actually at first, but then it turned out they actually got it right. So Lindgren takes a shot from the point. It gets deflected by Lemieux by high. It would look like it was a high stick, right? But before Rooney taps it in, it actually hits off of the Boston player in front. Then it hits Rask. Then Rooney touches it. So they actually got the call on the ice right, that it was a good goal, because technically, since the Rangers didn't touch it after the high stick, it was good. So I was like, all right, let's go. I was hyped that we ended up tying it. Shades, like you said, overtime, Fox makes a just sick play right away, gets up, gets down the ice on 2-on-1 with Booch. Booch has got to shoot that puck. I mean,
I'm the one who texted you guys that after I saw the highlights.
Yeah, Booch has got to shoot that. Obviously, he tries to make this saucer pass on McAvoy. Obviously, he just bats that down. No awareness by the Rangers. Zibanejad, not sure what happened. He got 2 in deep. I guess he just wasn't paying attention. He probably zoned out, honestly. And who scores it, of course? Brad Marchand. It couldn't have been any worse way to end the game. 3-2 overtime. Brutal.
Yeah, Marchand.
Absolutely brutal.
Marchand made Georgiev look like he had no idea what he was doing.
But
that's just how
that's another one, Chase. That's another one, Chase. It's 3-on-3, and we give up a breakaway. Dude, it's a breakaway, Shades. Your goalie is never at fault on a breakaway. I'm sorry. Dude, unless it's the Wayne Gretzky era and the goalie comes out to the blue line to make a diving poke check.
Dude, but the problem
you don't-
was Georgiev went for the diving poke check, and Marchand literally never brought it over.
Dude,
He's all by himself. What's he gonna do? He's gonna try something.
Shades. I disagree again.
I'm sorry,
That's
but
not on Georgiev.
guys, this is 4 games in a row by Georgiev where we've lost 1 game where he hasn't made a timely save.
Shades. He made plenty of timely saves yesterday in the game. He just didn't watch it.
Well, that's 4 losses in a row, so I'm not making
I
excuses
disagree.
for him.
I'm not making excuses for him either, Shades. I just think that you're wrong in the fact that blaming breakaway goals on Georgiev makes no sense. That's a defensive breakdown. It has nothing to do with the goalie. We come in on a 2-on-1. We don't even get a shot, dude. They come back the other way to get a breakaway for no reason. There was no reason for a breakaway on the overtime. I disagree. I think that's more on the defense than it is on Georgiev again.
I'm just saying, Georgiev's save percentage over his last 4 starts is less than 900. So.
Yeah, but Shades, he made plenty of just filthy saves in the game yesterday, especially in the second period. So I disagree in that if you're arguing that he was the issue in the game.
We got to start getting wins.
Yeah, but if you're arguing that Georgiev was the issue in last night's game,
I'm not saying he was the issue, but I'm saying he did not look good on 2 out of those 3 goals. That's what I'm saying.
I disagree. I disagree.
Yeah,
with you
I'm because I don't know. I'm not a goalie. I've never played goalie, but I know guys that have, and they say it's tough to try to get an idea or try to think ahead of what the guy's going to do next. It's tough.
And it's not like some random guys coming in on these breakaways. I mean, all right, maybe on the first one was questionable, but in terms of who scored it, but still, it's Brad Marchand, dude. He's not going to miss a breakaway.
Yeah.
Besides, unless it's a penalty shot, and then he won't pick up the puck.
Just completely leave it at the fucking red line.
But I will say one thing I'll take away as a positive, even though we're not always getting the wins, it just goes to show you that we can't score goals right now, and the fact that we've had 30 shots in 9 out of the last 11 games. So we're putting pucks on net. We're actually getting plenty of scoring chances. We're just not scoring. If Zibanejad scores, like if he has the ability to score last night, he scores like 4, dude. He had plenty of breakaways. He had plenty of things. He just couldn't score. So
Rick Nashitis.
So
yeah, big time.
Those are my takeaways from the game anyway.
All right. Well, that was interesting.
Other than the Islanders, because they do play a weird style of hockey, I think we do play a lot better when we play, tougher teams. Like Washington, we were able to sneak a win out of there. Despite them missing a bunch of guys, and we were able to put a good game against Boston. Like you said, you got 19 shots to 14. They led after the period, but I mean, they're getting there. They look a lot better than they did in the beginning of the season. Now it's just all about making plays and putting the puck in the net and trying to jump on those opportunities when they can.
Yeah, the only issue I had with the Washington game, we ended up getting outshot in that game, and we had 9 out of the first 10 shots throughout the first 11, 12 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
Why can we never keep that up? It's just so frustrating. But anyway, we got, the game against Philadelphia this coming Sunday is postponed. New Jersey.
As much of it as it sucks right now because we're missing some guys, I don't actually, it's kind of a benefit in the end.
Yeah.
And the fact that we'll be able to rest our guys and maybe, bring somebody back from injury.
Well, they just had an extra day off with the Devils game being postponed, so
true.
We just gotta hope the guys heal up quicker. That's what we got to hope for.
We play Boston again tomorrow, so.
Yeah, Boston again tomorrow, New Jersey on Tuesday, Philly on Thursday, Washington next Saturday, and we're playing them back-to-back Saturday, Sunday, so we'll probably bring you guys an episode right after that. All right, I got nothing else. You guys got anything else?
I got one last thing, Shades. I saved this to the end because I had to. Mark Stahl, baby. First goal with the Red Wings the other night. I had to bring that up, dude. Mark Stahl with his first.
The GOAT, Mark Stahl. The GOAT, Mark Stahl.
That's right. And to be honest with you, I would not have known that if Bill Pito didn't say it during the MSG 150. So I'm gonna end it on that.
Fan,
I love those two.
I am a Mark Stahl fan. I have a DH Gate Mark Stahl jersey, as a matter of fact.
You're welcome.
That Shades had gotten me, so
you're welcome.
I consider myself a Mark Stahl fan. And I'll end it on that. Mark Stahl, first goal of the season, baby.
I would say
he's got 39 more till 40 this season, so I'm waiting for it.
I would say whose jersey I got for my Secret Santa this year, but I don't want to ruin it. It's got to be a surprise.
Yeah, Shades, I'm gonna give you your jersey, and then you're gonna have to debut it on the podcast. Say who you got.
But I swear to God, if it's somebody I hate, there's gonna be problems.
Obviously,
you haven't told him?
That's the whole. No, he doesn't. He has no idea who he's getting. Woj already knows, but
I forgot.
Fantastic.
You texted me.
I'll text it to you. All
right.
But that's all I got, man.
Better not be a Marchand jersey.
Oh, too
late. No,
anyway,
it's not. I can confirm that.
Yeah.
Sources confirm it's not a Brad Marchand jersey.
No, it's a Jimmy Hayes jersey.
I'll take that over a lot of a good crop of players I don't like. So anyway, this has been episode 4 of Pucks and Brews. Hope you enjoyed I don't even know what the hell you want to call that, because we went off the deep end a couple of times. So I hope you enjoyed your brew. If you cracked one open and was drinking it during this, what do I even say? This
I don't know,
hellhole of an episode.
Show, yeah. If we have I guess maybe we'll start recording. Bad. We start recording on Sundays, and I have that next Monday off. I'll just be completely hammered the entire time.
That is going to be an episode to remember.
It's going to be bad.
Thank you, everyone, for listening or watching. If you're on YouTube, follow us on Twitter at Pucks and Brews, Pucks EM Brews. Follow us on Instagram, Pucks and Brews Pod, spelled normally. Follow us on our Facebook page at Pucks and Brews. I mean, if you check in the YouTube description, you can follow me and Woj both on Twitter and Instagram as well, and our personal ones. Woj has a lot of funny ass tweets, so I recommend the follow.
Yeah.
I
post some stuff that I can't post on our account, apparently.
Yeah. And my Twitter game's not too good, but screw it. I don't care. It's not make or break with my life. So we will catch everyone at some point between February 22nd and 23rd.
We can announce the date on Twitter or something.
Yeah, stay tuned on Twitter. We'll announce. It's either going to be February 22nd or 23rd, the Monday or Tuesday. And final thought of the podcast episode. I can't believe I haven't had to blow my nose this entire episode.
You usually do? I haven't noticed.
I don't even know what to say.
You going to include this?
That's it.
Do you want me to include this?
It's up to you.
Should
I know you blow your nose that often.
Nah, because I took a nap and that screwed me up. So
yeah, sure. Nap.
You wanna get some ASMR in this?
No, I don't. I plan to watch that later.
Let's end this.
I was gonna watch that later anyway.
This is just weird.
All right, everybody, enjoy. See you next episode, episode 5, and as Woj flips me off,
well, both of you.
Here's a salute. Adios.